Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Roman Reigns made his return to WWE SmackDown last night, appearing in Bologna, Italy, as the build to WrestleMania 41 officially began for him. It was an eventful outing for the OTC, who got physical as the show was coming to a close. The main event segment of SmackDown saw Reigns revealing why he attacked Seth Rollins and CM Punk on WWE Raw last week. He wanted to screw the Second City Saint and tried to kill the Visionary. Both superstars promptly came out, leading to a brawl between the three of them. SmackDown went off the air with Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins all fighting, with WWE officials and security guards coming between them. The company's official YouTube channel has released unseen footage of what happened after the show. The fight between Reigns, Rollins, and Punk got even more intense. At one point, it seemed like the best in the world was about to lead through the crowd, only for him to return to ringside and continue brawling with the Architect. Seth Rollins was eventually made to leave up the ramp, flanked by security. This was among the most chaotic scenes in WWE all year. A triple threat match has officially been announced for WrestleMania 41. Roman Reigns will take on CM Punk and Seth Rollins in Las Vegas. It was a typical Friday night in the WWE universe. The energy in the arena was electric, the lights were shining bright, and fans were still buzzing after witnessing another high-octane episode of SmackDown. But little did they know, the real drama was about to unfold after the cameras stopped rolling. The action-packed show had ended. The crowd was on their feet, giving a standing ovation for the night's top performers, and the roster was beginning to wind down. The SmackDown roster had already made their exits, but a few superstars stuck around in the backstage area, preparing for what was to come next. An after-party of sorts, or a few quick meetings, or perhaps some time to relax after a grueling evening. But in the blink of an eye, things spiraled into complete chaos. The world would soon see a side of WWE that was more brutal, more real, and more unforgiving than anything they had witnessed on TV. The tension bruised backstage. As the final SmackDown segment came to a close, Roman Reigns, the reigning undisputed WWE Universal Champion, was wrapping up his segment backstage. He had just successfully defended his title earlier in the night against a formidable opponent, but the real battle wasn't in the ring. It was about to go down in the shadows of the arena. Reigns, as always, was calm, collected, and exuded the intimidating aura that had made him the face of WWE for years. His muscular frame, unshakable confidence, and the aura of the tribal chief were apparent as he walked through the corridors of the venue. Fans in the stands were still chanting his name, but what they didn't know was that backstage tensions were reaching a boiling point. WWE superstars are often known to keep their emotions in check, at least in public, but things had been bubbling under the surface for weeks. For some time, there had been rumors of friction between Reigns and a younger, hungry star. Someone eager to prove themselves, someone who believed they were next in line for the throne. This star was none other than Seth Rollins, the architect of the Shield and one of the company's top talents for years. Rollins was known for his high-flying style, his technical prowess, and his ability to hold a crowd in the palm of his hand. But recently, things had taken a turn. Rollins had grown more vocal about his frustrations, often taking shots at Reigns in interviews, questioning his dominance, and alluding to the fact that he felt it was his time to hold the top belt. This had built up over several months with a heated exchange of words, occasional backstage confrontations, and most notably, the looming tension after Rollins' feud with Roman's cousins, the Usos. And now it seemed like the fuse had finally been lit. A shocking confrontation. It was in the hallway, just outside the locker rooms, that the confrontation would take place. Roman Reigns, in his street clothes, was walking toward the exit when he bumped into Seth Rollins. The two men locked eyes, a tense silence hanging in the air. Seth Rollins, still full of energy after his match, had been looking for Roman all night. The young star had been itching to finally confront the tribal chief and express just how much he resented the idea of Roman dominating the top spot for as long as he had. The fans were chanting for him earlier in the night, But Rollins couldn't shake the feeling that he was being held back. Rollins said with a smirk, his voice dripping with frustration. Reigns didn't even flinch, his gaze hardening. "What do you want, Seth?" Rollins took a step closer, his jaw clenched. "I want a shot at the title. You've had your reign, and I've been patient. But I'm done waiting. It's time for a change. It's time for me to step up and take my place at the top of the food chain." Roman's face remained calm, but there was a fire behind his eyes. The tension in the air was palpable as both men sized each other up. This wasn't just a rivalry anymore. It was personal. It wasn't just about championships. It was about pride, about dominance, and about the battle for supremacy. "You think you're ready?" Roman scoffed, his voice low and controlled. "You've been chasing my spot for months, but you still don't get it. You'll never be on my level. You'll never be able to take my title." Rollins' frustration boiled over. He could feel the weight of Roman's words pressing down on him, but he wasn't backing down. "You're scared, Roman. You're scared of someone who can do everything you can and more. You're scared that your reign is slipping away. You're scared that someone like me can come in and take everything you've worked for." The insult stung, but Roman didn't let it show. "You're delusional," he said, his tone icy. "I'm not scared of anyone. Not you, not anyone." Without warning, Rollins threw a quick slap across Reigns' face. The sound echoed down the hallway. The crowd would never hear it, but those who were lucky enough to witness it firsthand could feel the magnitude of the blow. Reigns, momentarily stunned, took a step back, but then his eyes flared with anger. "You made a mistake, Seth," Roman growled. With that, Reigns lunged forward, his massive frame crashing into Rollins. A brutal brawl broke out right there in the backstage area, as the two former allies and bitter rivals traded blows. Roman's fists hammered against Rollins' chest and face, while Seth, agile as ever, dodged and countered with quick strikes of his own. Security and WWE officials rushed into the scene, but the two men were so caught up in their fury that they paid no mind. Rollins shoved a security guard aside as he launched a flying knee into Roman's gut, knocking the wind out of him. Roman stumbled back, but quickly regained his composure, grabbing Seth by the throat and tossing him against the metal lockers. The fight was wild, chaotic, and completely unpredictable. It was clear that these two men had a lot more at stake than anyone had realized. Their rivalry wasn't just personal. It was a clash of two of the biggest egos in WWE, both fighting for what they believed was rightfully theirs. The aftermath. It took a dozen security guards to finally separate the two men, but by then the damage had already been done. Rollins was being escorted away by officials, his face a mix of anger and adrenaline. He had tried to fight back, but the sheer power and experience of Roman Reigns had proven to be too much. Roman, meanwhile, was seething with rage, his shirt torn and his face bruised from the altercation. As Rollins was being dragged through the backstage area, he could be heard shouting, "You'll pay for this, Roman. You're not untouchable. I'm coming for you, and I'll take that title." Roman's response was chilling, even from a distance. "Try me." The chaos didn't end there. The backstage area was abuzz with whispers and concerned chatter, as everyone realized that what had just transpired was not just a fight. It was a declaration. The battle between Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins was no longer a matter of if, but when. The feud had reached a boiling point, and it was clear that WWE would have no choice but to address it head-on in front of the millions of fans who would be watching. As Rollins was forced to leave with security, escorted out of the arena for the night, the entire WWE roster stood in shock. Many had witnessed the fight firsthand, while others had only heard about it through the grapevine. But one thing was for sure. This was the spark that would ignite a new chapter in the Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins saga. Fans, social media, and the WWE Universe would not be able to stop talking about what had just happened. Would this lead to an official match between the two? Would Seth Rollins be able to finally prove himself against the tribal chief? And most importantly, how far would Reigns go to retain his grip on the top spot? And would he accept a challenge from someone like Rollins? One thing was certain. This confrontation was far from over. The fallout from this explosive backstage altercation would shape the future of WWE for months to come, and the seeds had been planted for one of the most heated rivalries in the company's history. As for Roman Reigns, the message was clear. He may be the top champion in WWE, but as the fight had shown, even the tribal chief is not immune to challenges from the hungry and the bold. Conclusion: the road ahead. The aftershock of that chaotic confrontation would reverberate throughout WWE in the days and weeks to come. Fans would speculate, wrestlers would weigh in, and every inch of the drama would be dissected. Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins had unleashed a new chapter in their saga. And as both men licked their wounds and strategized their next moves, the WWE Universe braced for what was certain to be an all-out war for the top spot. As SmackDown went off the air that night, the real battle had just begun. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our WWE official YouTube channel for more update news.